What's up? What's up, my YouTubers? I had to check the volume. I can't talk too loud because, I got neighbors. It's about 12:06. I probably watched about 3 episodes of The Preachers of LA. And, I don't like how it is put on, you know what I'm saying? Me, I'm learning a lot of Egyptian knowledge and with mixed with black ancient Egyptian culture, and I guess it's called Nuwabian. But to me, I break it down as Nuwa being. It's spelled Nuwabian, just like you would say lesbian, or you know, lesbianism or Nawabiism. To me, I look at it as newer being, because you're becoming a newer being when you break down the knowledge of what people tell you. The ancestry culture, Indian culture mixed up with Egyptian culture, and Dr. York spoke about a lot of words and things to that nature. But my thoughts on the show, there's maybe 2 preachers I flipped out. I'm gonna plug my laptop. Give me a second. Alright. There it spoke of, like, there's 2 preachers that I agree with, that I actually like. The white past preacher, I forgot what church he's from, and there was another guy who have natural centric hair. I like him. And the other preachers, I really wasn't feeling them. I mean, they might speak good words to the church and all that, but I wasn't feeling them. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the other 2, because one was dealing with the FTM, and the other one was, I liked, he was breaking down how, how whatever you preach, you need to make sure your congregation is acceptance of other individuals and their individuality. And my thing is, if you're going to be preaching, you need to accept all individuals and their individuality as well as their sexuality. And he was not accepting of certain things, and as well as the mothers of the church. I realized one thing: women of the church, black women of churches, wear big hats, nice dresses, look nice compared, and look according to what their husbands wear, and their husbands look all flashy and glamour on LA preachers of LA. And my thing is, I'd rather take acceptance and respect from a person that probably rode in LA in a Pinto and was preaching knowledge and beliefs and words of the Bible, compared to a man that feels like he needs to ride in the Escalade or in a new Land Rover and got bling bling on his wrist and all that, you know what I'm saying? Rolex watches and nice bracelets and nice chain, and he's the pastor of a church or a preacher of a church. I rather accepted somebody who was going from where I am to get to where he's at. And I'm not knocking anybody for their blessings, but my thing is that it's a job. It's not only a job to these people on LA, preachers of LA. They make it seem like it's a job, and my thing is, why being a spiritual person should be a job? It should be something that you do naturally. and you shouldn't have to think about it. You just speak from the heart, and the essence of who you are, and your spirituality will speak for itself. Meaning that you don't have to think about what you're going to do, how you're going to dress, how you're going to present yourself to other individuals. You could walk as a bum and you could preach real good knowledge to individuals to accept what you're saying, compared to dressing like you came out of a P. Diddy video, or you looking like you're on, just because you're on reality TV, that you need to dress a certain accordance. And there was a couple guys that felt like that they didn't need to, and that was acceptance of more of them because they was real. One guy was a skateboarder, and he's a preacher of a church, and the other guy he's a black guy, and he's a preacher of another church in LA. I can't remember, I didn't write it down, but I was overstanding the certain knowledge that they were speaking compared to the other guys. He was looking flashy and glamorous compared for the cameras, you know what I'm saying? Because you're on national TV, you need to look a certain way and dress a certain representation because you are a pastor. My thing is, I'd rather accept you in the rags that you might, if you was a homeless person and you was speaking great knowledge, I would accept that compared to you sitting up here on national TV and looking like you came out of a P. Diddy video or a Rick Ross video. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, overstanding what I'm saying. I'm just breaking down a little bit of knowledge. The knowledge that I realized of learning the Nawabi and Egyptian knowledge is that we as black folks and we as people, we take on people in worldly knowledge, and we sit up here and we change ourselves to be a substance of other individuals instead of dealing with the situations that's at hand. So when the cameras and the glamour come to us, then we sit up here and we change ourselves to be a substance of other individuals, thinking that they will come to us because of the way we look. And if we don't give our representation of how we dress and how we look, and we're not glamorous looking, then they're not going to accept what we say. And that's not the true being. That's not really true. I'd rather someone who was speaking great words and great knowledge, spiritual knowledge, being in nothing and being honest and truthful without the cameras and the glamour and the fame and the fortune. You see what I'm saying? And the way they was putting them on TV is like that's what they're about. And I'm like, I seen one guy, he was on TV, and he's a good preacher, but when I'm seeing him behind the cameras and all that, and the glamour and all that, and he's about the fame and the fortune and all about how he looks, and he's got a kind of bodyguards and all that, I was like, man, I'm not feeling him, because I see the true person that you are. That might not how you really are, but when you are on national TV, that's how you perceive yourself as. You're gonna look a certain way to get representation or respect from other individuals by what you wear and how glamorous you look, because you're from LA. I'd rather you've been from the boondocks of Los Louisiana, or a homeless person giving great speeches and knowledge of spiritual knowledge, than a person that feels like they need to glam themselves up for the cameras, you know. And I don't know, the show to me is kind of funky. It's like watching Bad Girls Club without having bad girls. To me, I would say bad preachers of churches, because you're telling yourself that, yeah, you're doing this for God, but really you're doing this for yourself. All the glam, all the fortune, all the looking glamorous for the cameras and all that. I don't know. I think that it's a con to me. The show is funny to me. Maybe two preachers I like out of the whole little show, and I feeling with my third eye like they actually speaking some really good knowledge that I can elaborate on. The other ones are just doing it for the fame and the fortune and the glamour, and that's not what I'm about on spirituality. So I didn't connect with them on that kind of level. What they were speaking, I don't care if they was really going depths with it on the Bible, but I didn't believe it, and if I don't believe it, then I'm not gonna be about it. And if you're not about what you speak, then you're selling false information and you're giving false information, even if you know the Bible inside and out. And then the women of the churches were so judgmental, like the mothers or the wives of the pastors and or preachers of the churches. They were just rude, disrespectful. They were about how they look, how the cameras took them, and all that. Man, I'm not about that because I felt that out when I watched the little show. And I'm a type of person that can tell you about yourself before you even think, before I even know anything about you. I can tell you really about yourself. And a lot of people don't like when you can tell them about themselves and you really head on. They be amazed, like, how do you know this kind of information about me? How did you know that I was really like this? How did you know I was hiding this? How did you know that I didn't say this? Or how did you know this is something I didn't want to come out? I know, but it's not my duty to say, you know? And a pastor could come to me and I could feed off of his energy, and I'll tell him that what you speak is not what's real. If you're going to be about the Bible, speak about the Bible. If you're going to be about Nuwabian, speak about the Nuwabian language. Speak about the education and the knowledge behind it. Don't give me something to make yourself look good for national TV or for other individuals. Speak what you want to speak, but be real about what you speak. And there was two guys off the whole little show that did that. So personally, it's a good show. Um, Preachers of LA. It is not a bad show, but it shows me that the false peer preachers and the realist preachers. That's what I'm saying. The preachers who's not about the glam and the fortune and the money and all that, and the glam and all that. They actually speak in real words. But, yeah. Because I like my pastor. He's really humble, and if we put him on TV, he'd be the same person he was when I met him, and he'd be that way on camera compared to the people that are on camera. This is what I give you two words. Recognize real and what is real. Recognize real and what is real. Meaning, don't let someone tell you what they speak is real. If you don't feel it's real, then it's false information. And if you don't get a vibe that makes you feel like it's clear, got clearance from it, then it's not what it is. They're just doing it for fun, or they're just doing it for acceptance, or they're doing it for appearance. So recognize what is real and know what is real. Alright? That's how I feel about that.